Nice shot.
Oh, it's a me. Uh-oh. Huh?
Oh, B.
Oh, no. Oh, God.
And as everyone mocks Luigi for his failure, we begin a brand new side project. Red2 standing by, all for lit, and in the green, Mario Golf is our game. Chilling out with the Nintendo 64 original. So, you can play with 1, 2, 3 or 4 players, or continue any files and check out the clubhouse. So, there's all your information that will tell you the ring shot challenge, speed golf, tournament and versus records, and show off your best shots. It will show the last 5 of each shot, so you'll see a lot of birdies, but you won't see as many eagles, albatrosses, or hole-in-ones. Holes-in-one, actually, sorry. Anyway, how to play. If you want to check out your instructions, this will provide everything for you. These games are actually very good in terms of sticking to golf glossaries. They're pretty accurate for the most part. So, experience points tie in, I think, with unlocking courses, and you can also transfer them to the Game Boy version. The old days of using the transfer pack. Tied in with Pokemon Stadium, among other games. So, course points will allow us to unlock other courses, I believe. I just want to double check that. Yep. So, course points will eventually be collected as you win trophies in tournaments. So, we have 6 different courses in this. We can also get birdie badges, which are basically getting a birdie on each hole. We've got trophies, stars, and you can basically sum up all the terminology you need. But I'm not that fussed about everything, in all fairness. And there we are. We can tweak a few little options along the way. But what I want to do is start out. So we only have 4 characters and Mario is not one of them. These games had various random human players along the way. So, as you can see, we have Plum, who is my favourite character in the game. She has the shortest drive, but she has the best control. So, there's Charlie. Charlie has a slight fade, which I think means the shots hook from left to right. Baby Mario has draw on his shots, and Peach hits straight. So, Peach, I think, hits the ball higher. Plum has a somewhat lower trajectory. And I think it's with the C stick anyway. You can select different colours for your character. So we can see that Plum has a blonde look. She can have blue hair. You gotta have blue hair. And she can be a redhead. I like her usual look, but I'm gonna go as a redhead for a game.
Here we go.
So there we are, we have our tournament in single player. Get character mode, which allows us to take on other characters. We can see Luigi dancing there, probably some sort of dorky dad dance really. Ring shot, shooting through the rings. Shades of Superman 64 there. Speed golf. and regular stroke play, so we can practice through that. Now, I should be alright. Mini golf. I'll demonstrate that in due time. There's our practice mode, but let's go on the tournaments. We do need to get all 108 birdie badges, so I'll probably do that off screen, since this is fairly casual. So the first one we can unlock is the Toad Tournament. 50 points to the next course. Toad Highlands is our beginning location. I'm cruising around, winding down on Christmas Day. It's late in the evening and I've had a fairly interesting day. We've got some pretty strong wind there. So, controls. That'll tell us what to do. So, the L button, impact point. Yes, use the L button to change where you wind up hitting the ball. You can hit underneath it or over the top of it. You can also adjust that while you're hitting the ball. Z button also allows us to adjust the point of impact, and we can change the course view around. The R button does that. Cameras are moved with the C button. A button is to shoot or reset camera. B triggers our power shot. Start triggers the menu. And course view allows us to see over the top of it. If we use R, we'll be able to see what's ahead of us. The wind is blowing a fair bit from left to right. So, to swing, press A, then A again, and time it right. I did not time that particularly well. But let's see. So that's our best drive for now. We want to aim. We do have the 3-iron. Might be better off if we rearrange it with the 4-iron. Seems like there's a little bit of delay. Basically the same thing each time. Should have gone with the 3-iron. So, approach shots. Press B and you can target... So we're about 17 yards away, which means we'll need about a quarter. So B will also allow you to trigger approach shots. And let's see. So they will always have a range of 60 yards. Went a bit far on that one. Timing's going to be a little bit off, I'm afraid, so we've got a fairly long putt to make. It's a little bit embarrassing in all fairness, but we will persevere. I'm doing this for a little bit of fun, so there's this... We can switch between short, middle, and long-range putting. You don't have any rangefinders like you do in future games. Oh, that's not good. Let's see. So we got 10 feet. We're looking for about...
Bogey.
So, not a great start. I'm a little bit rusty, it seems. So, I will, of course, be tied further down for 12th. Not great. You have a whole lot of random names. You have Michelle, Colin, Link, Fly Guy, Saria, Ukiki. Slightly misspelled. Ukiki only has 1K at the start. Bub, Christian, Dory. Dory's supposed to have 2 R's. Kobe, Toad, Plum, Greg, Gale, Monty Mole, Ken, Peach, Bob-omb, Darunia, Charlie, Baby Mario, Eric, Mike, McLeod, Bill, Phil, Fox, Sheik, Malin, and Peppy. So, par 3's fairly short holes. We're hitting into the wind. Might be an idea to go a little bit less than full power. Jeez Louise, my timing is really off. no, that actually worked out fairly well.
Nice on.
So, slight brake. Use the plus pad to adjust as well as the control stick. So, we do have to go uphill a little bit. And there we go!
Yes.
Earned ourselves a new birdie medal. So, now rain will impede the power of your drives. Let's demonstrate a power shot here anyway. We need to get the timing right. If we do, we will be able to save a power shot, but you have to get full power and perfect control. Well, close enough. So we don't conserve it, but we do get a slightly longer drive because the rain will impede how far we can hit it. So I might want to aim a bit more over here. Getting a little bit better. Also worth noting that it's a pain in the backside trying to putt in the rain. So there's a slight break. The ball will generally not go... Oh, I just missed. The ball will not go as far.
Nice par.
I could have botched that, so there we are. We've got a bogey, we've got a birdie, and we've got par. I will need to step up a little bit more. So par 5, and of course it's raining. Might switch to another of my power shots. And... always just off. So we've hit underneath the ball, which will usually give us a bit more height. This is very helpful for allowing us to catch the wind. Now, we need to do very sensible things here. I think I'll use a 4-wood and put it about here. I am playing this on the Wii U's Virtual Console, and it does feel like the buttons are maybe a little bit delayed, but we will make do with what we have. So it's going to move over a bit. Oh, well, could have done with a little less power, but that's passable. We have a slight downhill putt, little bit of a break to the... just a little break to the right, and give it some oomph. There we go. Now, as I said, I am recording this around Christmas, so... well, it is actually the evening of Christmas Day. I had a pretty good one, so... no matter where you are, I sincerely hope you were able to enjoy it in some way with those who are important to you. And even if you're not watching on or around Christmas, then I still wish you all the best, because a little bit of kindness goes a long way, really. Ah, well, perfect timing. So, depending on where you get your timing, by the way, if it's off, if you hit it a bit early, it'll skew in one direction. It'll go in the other if you're a bit late. I can't quite remember which one, so we might need a little bit less than full power. Well, let's see how this goes. The wind is holding us up a little bit. Wow, that was way worse than I thought. Alright, so we'll need an approach shot. But anyway, I am wishing everyone very good luck for the year ahead, and just for whenever you're watching this, really. Yeah, we're really not getting much mileage out of that. See, now you see how we have those numbers underneath the ball? that will tell you the actual sort of overall power and impact it'll be having. So this will always be hit at 100% power, but the previous one was about 80 to 90, so I needed a little bit more oomph. Let's see if I position it. About there. Needed a bit more. Or to hit it a bit higher up the hill. So we got another bogey, sadly.
Bogey.
And we nearly got another bogey. I mean, a double bogey. That wouldn't have gone well. Oh well. We are still a little bit rusty. But that's okay. Today's all about having fun with things, really. So, let's see. Yeah, I am definitely trying to hit it a lot shorter, and it just keeps going. Well. Now, switch to the approach about. Oh, we muffed that one. Well, you can definitely tell I'm a bit rusty. It looks pretty straight. Use C up. Alright, so we should be okay if we aim pretty straight.
Nice par.
Well, I saved par. Right, I'm going to need to do a lot better than this. It's about time I stepped up. Wind's pushing across a fair bit. Almost. Anyway, this was mostly just done for a little bit of fun, just chilling out and relaxing at the end of the day. So I hope this can serve as something like that for all of you watching as well. We all need those opportunities to relax a little bit and enjoy ourselves. Now, this is going to be a very tricky approach. Now, if... I don't really want to waste one of my power shots. I should put it about here? That's a really powerful wind taking it away, because I figured I'd wind up in the bunker one way or another. Alright, so we're hitting into the wind. So we want about half power. Well, it's at least set us up for a decent par putt.
Nice
And there we are. Have a bad tendency to think out loud in all fairness, but it is just good to, well, really relax. I mean, I'm consistent at least. So wind's pushing a little over to this side. Let's get rolling. Now the mechanics would be improved a fair bit in Toadstool 2, but this is still pretty solid in its own right, I feel. Yeah, there's definitely a delay in the response, but we make do, we chill out, we have a bit of fun along the way. They do say that golf is a sport played against oneself, so you know who the loser is ultimately going to be. But then again, I suppose it's all about... I suppose that's not quite fair, because you can be a pretty good winner as well if you know what you're doing. So, wind's coming across. We'll want a little less than full power. That should serve me pretty well, I'd say. Well, we made it onto the green and we got a pretty good putt.
Nice on.
Alright. You do want to hit a little bit more when you're putting, so that you've got the oomph to carry it in. And there's another birdie, about time. We've moved up a little bit. And it's raining again. You know, I really do wish it rained a little bit more around where I live. We could use that. We've had a little bit of rain. It's supposed to be summer, but only a few days out from Christmas. It was much more like winter. It was actually raining. It was cold. It was grey. Everything. Oh, nearly. Just one of those odd days, in all fairness. And we landed that one nicely. But, as I've said, I don't mind it when it is raining. Now, this one will probably have to wind up taking par, because we're not going to quite have the power we need. Suppose I can do it this way? Aim across a little bit. Ah, there we go!
Nice shot.
But it still wasn't enough because of the rain. Bit of a bummer, really. So, we're looking for an approach with a little... We'll have to swing it about here, so... Not too bad. We are still quite a way out. That was too much heat. That one was entirely my own fault.
Bogey.
Oh well. We all make little mistakes, but we can see that the pack is starting to come back. We've made it through 9 holes and we are at the halfway turn. If you have a powerful character, you can take a shortcut over the hill. But we have the shortest drive, so we'll just have to play the best we can. Ah, that's better.
Nice shot.
Not too bad. You will have to make little adjustments for terrain and things like that. So now we can see that our lie changes things a little bit. We want to aim about here, I think.
Nice on.
Could have used a little bit more power. We have to go uphill. Slight break. Oh, come on! Oh, that was maybe a bit of a miscalculation. I thought I'd need the extra power. Now, in all fairness, I never thought golf would be that fascinating a sport. You know, all the stereotypes about how it's a game for old men in loud pants and so on, until Tiger Woods came along when it was a game for young men in loud pants. But it has actually proved pretty entertaining, and Mario Golf had quite the hand in that for me. Admittedly, Adam Scott winning the Masters, Australian contingent represent, that did help a lot. There's a nice strategy element in golf, in all fairness. You've got to plan a lot, you've got to think a lot, and you do get a decent walk out of it. Of course, don't spend all your time... Oh, this is going to be a really tricky one. Do I position about here and go for the long putt? Needed a bit more oomph because I'm in such an awkward lie. Interestingly enough, the golf game, as a bit of trivia, the golf game that featured in Goldfinger actually started Sean Connery's lifelong love of the game. We lost him not too long ago, as of recording this anyway, so we'll need a bit... Hit it a bit too long still. Playing all over the place. Now, if I aim about there... Whew, save par. But yeah, I do enjoy the strategy element that comes with Mario Golf, so I tend to be just sort of thinking and planning out loud a lot. So I apologise if my commentary doesn't become very interesting. I am trying to find something positive to say about things, because, I mean, at time of recording, things have been pretty much difficult for everyone, but I just want you to know that I really do think that you're a good person. You can always be better. We can all be better. I don't mean that in a negative sense. When I say we can be better as I record this at this interesting time of year, really should have had more on from that, but there's so much more we can do. So much more we can do to come together and make the world a better place, really. And that is quite the positive when you think about it. It's amazing just how much power you actually really do have when you think about it. You can make yourself a better person always, and it's not that I think it's a bad thing to want to be a better person, because, well, we can always improve. If you are perfect as such, you can't improve, you can't learn anything, you can't develop. It's good to have those little flaws along the way, all those opportunities to improve yourself and so on. Now I might hit over the top of this by pushing up. It's going to shank a bit, but I probably needed a longer distance on that, so we have a fairly long putt. But we are on the green edge. Probably could have taken a longer one, so we're going to break. Oh, yes. Oh, no! If I'd aimed a little bit more to the right, I nearly got that. I thought I had. Ah, well. Oh, no, I haven't got that one. Ugh. Oh well, I paid for my hubris. Oof.
Bogey.
Oh.
Oh man. Doesn't look like I'm actually going to get the chockies on this one. But no one to blame but myself. Let's see now. If I am about here. It's funny how I can't do it when I'm trying. Oh.
Nice on.
Now that's better. Don't stuff this up. Oh, I thought I'd stuff that up. Oh, jeez, I'm jinxing myself all over the place. But I suppose that has been keeping with me being the comic relief for the day, because, well, I kind of was. We did a sort of a family Kris Kringle, and among the gifts I received were some Bertie Bott's Every Flavour beans. So when they say every flavour, they do mean every flavour, and they've pulled some of the ones from the Harry Potter books. There's the earwax one that Dumbledore gets when he's talking to Harry in the hospital at the end of the first book. There's the bogey flavoured one, I think George Weasley said he apparently got once, and there was also the vomit flavoured one Dumbledore apparently had. One I was a bit unsure about, but decided to try anyway, was the rotten egg one. Ugh, I could taste that thing for ages afterwards. Had to get a mouthful of whiskey to drown it out, along with a couple of glasses of water and everything else. If you've seen the bit in The Simpsons where they have the flashback, I think, can't remember if it's to when Bart's born or not, and they have the promo for the Olympics with the Krusty Burger. That, I'll be tasting that for weeks. That reaction pretty much sums up what I felt like when I tasted that. Oh, that was vile. So, I suppose I've made a bit of a procession being comically inept today, but at least I got a funny story out of it. That does happen sometimes, like the adventure of my keys. I think we probably... about that. And there we are. Because there was the whole fiasco where I'd finished work, needed to look into some things with Centrelink, because I have had work. Unfortunately, I haven't quite had enough to stop dealing with Centrelink, and nightmarish, to put it mildly. Anyway, so I'd stopped off to grab lunch at a petrol station. Before I did that, there was a popular sandwich chain in there. Oh, nearly got the perfect. But anyway, I headed back out of the car after I'd got my lunch. And of course, my door didn't want to unlock. So the car had been working just fine up to this point. Now I might have to hit underneath it. So anyway, wound up getting Dad's help. Alright, so that didn't work. Probably should have kept the flat trajectory or hit one more. There are lots of little idiosyncrasies that don't quite help in this one as far as I know, so I'll probably be wanting to... Well, that's a bit better, but yes, anyway, so we had to wait over an hour for the RACV guy to turn up, and there we are, just sort of chatting, chewing the fat out the front of this petrol station slash popular sandwich chain place. Oh, that's a bit much. So the guy finally gets there, winds up using some sort of pump thingy to open the door. We had a bit of a problem with that because it unfortunately meant that I was going to have to go to a locksmith's and get it sorted out that way, because when we did open the door with that rather than any proper locksmith tools, it meant that the car alarm would go off every time I stuck the keys in the ignition. This particular cause can be a real pain in the backside. Well, this particular hole, anyway. So we don't want to go through the trees because they will interrupt our shots. But yeah, anyway, so we finally headed around to the locksmiths. Oh, that has gone way off. But yeah, we got there and we found that they'd closed early for their Christmas function. This was a couple of weeks before Christmas. I mean, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. They're allowed to do that, but it was just a bit frustrating. So I'm like, I just want to go home, and then the best part of the whole day happened, because we had an old remote key fob. Wow, I just cannot pick the distance on these shots. Suppose the wind is not exactly helping. We are hitting into the breeze. And then, of course, it goes too far. Of course it does. Really shouldn't try to tell a story at the same time. But anyway, we did wind up... So... Let's try this. Let's aim at the hole. Rocketed past. We might be able to make... Oh, it's broken away. If it hadn't done that, we would have made it. So there's our double bogey animation. You'll at least get to find that out. No, it is just the same as the regular bogey. That sucked. And this one isn't exactly easy either. Kinda gotta drop the ball on a dime, really. So, obviously, I'm not a great storyteller. So, we finally got that... I always manage to land in the freaking bunker. But yes, we finally got the blasted thing out of there. We finally got Oh, no, hang on. So we'd managed to get to the locksmiths. That's where I was up to. We got to the locksmiths. They weren't open, and I was gesturing. I tend to wave my arms a lot as I talk for whatever reason, and that was when we wound up finding out that the key fob we'd had, which had run out of batteries a long time ago, actually worked.
Nice part.
Yeah, so rather than trying that, we'd gone through all sorts of stuff and it just had not worked. Nothing had gone to plan, and just all of a sudden that key fob, which I was certain didn't work because I knew it had run out of batteries a long time ago, it suddenly wound up working. So that worked, and so we were able to get home without my car screaming at me. Then I had spare keys. Dad had brought the key fob from his mum's place. Oh, now this is a tricky lie. That should be alright, but
Nice shot.
of course the spare keys I had actually worked. The spare keys I had worked. For some reason, they unlocked the doors to my car. And then, of course, the whole kicker on the story. So basically, we've gone through the whole day with pretty much my regular keys not working in the lock. I could open the boot, couldn't push the seats down to get into the car. We've basically had to break in. The key fob suddenly started working out of nowhere. The spare keys, which I figured might have worked, did, and then for some reason, for some unfathomable reason, later at night, my regular keys started working again. I haven't told that story particularly well because I'm oscillating between what I'm doing. We've actually tied.
Plum is hot.
Very well played.
So we actually wound up tying. For some reason, we don't actually have to go to the playoff round. I am still feeling pretty good about things, so I'm going to stick with Plum, and we are going to do the Get Character round. We're going to compete for Luigi, who is my brother's signature character. Plum tends to be mine. Luigi is dubbed the Weekend Warrior. Like all those classic golfers who just want to get out there on the weekend, their handicap is astronomical, but they still think they're fantastic and will persevere anyway. Luigi takes on all manner of shots that are completely ridiculous, probably not going to succeed, and most of them don't, but it's incredibly funny. Amusingly enough, my brother is incredibly good with a range of other different characters. It's just that when Luigi is involved, all bets are off and things wind up going ridiculously badly. Of course, I'm kind of guilty as well. The two of us in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour did have on Blooper Bay what we dubbed the Adventure of Whale Island, where we somehow managed to get stuck trying to take a shortcut through the course on the little whale-shaped island out on one of the holes. We wound up dropping 5 shots on that. We still wound up coming back and beating the AI, but we were just that incompetent. We were stuck out there for ages. We'd basically got lost. It might have even have been 6 shots. But anyway, Get Character is Luigi, who has reasonably high fade. We will be competing on Cooper Park because we haven't... Actually, we'll stick to Toad Highlands. I will show you Cooper Park in the next one. In Get Character, we compete in match play. We simply have to win the hole by getting a higher number of strokes... Lower number of strokes, sorry. We need to win the hole by having the lower score compared to our opponent. So, for example, if I finish in 3, Luigi finishes in 4, I win the hole. However, if we tie on a hole, we move on to the next one, and after a certain number of ties, we have to win fewer holes to ultimately win the match. So, at first, I have to win 10 holes, or Luigi has to win 10 holes. Luigi can hit slightly further than me. So, if this one is a tie, then we only have to win 9 holes. If we tie 2 more, the winner only has to win 8 holes, and so on. Ooh. Well, that actually went a bit better. Maybe we've shaken some of the rust off, but we still do have a long way to go. The AI can often be reasonably competent with these. Wario, for some reason, turns incredibly dangerous, which is a far cry from his usual buffoonery. Okay, so he's missed that one.
Nice touch.
Alright, so let's move on ahead. It looks like we have a slight break. That's probably a bit much. Oh, that should not have gone in. I'm going to be honest, that should not have gone in. I was lucky. So, because I won that particular hole, I'm hitting first. Now, our pin is right there. Right. And that should place it pretty well for me. Oh yes, that's a much better shot. But yeah, match play can be pretty fun because it doesn't matter if you're a bit of a hacker. It's just finding out who can basically wind up getting there in the fewest number of strokes. You don't have to worry about keeping constant score.
Nice on.
So, whoever is furthest away from the hole after the initial shots will wind up putting or hitting the ball first. Rightio, so it's relatively straight for me. And there we are, because Luigi's already taken 2 shots, I've won the hole. So, basically just enjoy cruising around. It's a fun little mode. You will be able to use more characters with better drive distance as you go along. But I like using Plum for the early stages, and I genuinely miss her. The later Mario Golf games have a broader range of Mario series characters, which is nice. They do have some pretty good ones. Interestingly enough, it's worth noting that in Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, Diddy Kong actually reuses his sound effects from Donkey Kong 64, while Boo interestingly borrows sound effects from Mario Sunshine. So we probably need it about here. If I hit underneath. That's very wayward. And yet I have squeaked onto the fringe of the green. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting seeing it through the GameCube era. There was the Game Boy Advance version. Advance Tour could link up to Toadstool Tour, just as Mario Golf on the Game Boy links up to this one. The days of the old transfer packs and the connector cables and things like that. I'll try and putt in here. Let's see. So we've got a bit of a break up the hill, but it does sort of break back a bit. Perhaps if I aim it straight and... Oh, yep. That one was on target. I've shaken the rust off, thankfully. So far, so good, though. Rightio, we're hitting into the breeze. But yeah, these games are actually a lot of fun. I do find it a bit annoying in the World Tour that you wind up having to get the star characters, but those star characters also have absolutely no control. It's either you've got terrible hitting distance and basically no control, or you've got good hitting distance. I think I fumbled that. You've got terrible hitting distance but great control, or great hitting distance and no control, and there's no real in between. I mean, I probably do prefer a bit more of a control-based golf style. because as you've seen, I tend to fumble quite a few shots. So we'll only be able to collect birdie badges in tournaments, I believe. Also worth noting, the characters who have draw and fade, depending on the angle, can hit their shots around certain things. Where the trajectory of their ball goes will vary if they're hitting uphill or downhill. For example, characters who have draw will have it hook around and land in a different spot. It won't swing as far if they're hitting uphill. If it's going downhill, they'll wind up swinging further. So keep that in mind if you are playing one of the characters who has draw or fade. It is actually a surprisingly complex game. In between all the Mario series goofiness and stuff like that, you actually do have some pretty solid golf terminology, and it plays out pretty well. The physics can be a bit strange in the first one, but overall this is a surprisingly well-designed game. Oh no, not quite. Probably should have hit underneath it. Or even gone one club further. It's not stopping, thank you. So Luigi's going for the power shot. He's probably going to get it a lot closer to the hole than I am. Yeah, so it all depends on his putt. Now, I have... Now, I can change my trajectory a bit on this, but I will need a fairly high one to get up the hill. Oh no! Oh, if that had have been a chip in. Arse beats class every time. If Luigi gets this, he'll win. He's flubbed it. So we are most likely going to halve the hole, as the terminology says.
Nice
So
par.
there we are. If Luigi misses somehow, he loses this hole.
Nice par.
So you will see that the number of holes required to win decreases a bit. And away we go. I'm still in the lead. That was terrible. I guess Luigi's not the only one who's a weekend hacker. Now, you can actually use the C buttons,
Hurry up. 4.
and if somebody's thinking, you can have either little taunts or messages of support. I believe the C buttons are little taunts, and the plus pad provides messages of support. A bit of fun. Basically, that's what this is all about, just sort of messing around and having a bit of fun. So we are going uphill a little bit. That should be alright. Not too bad, we are still a bit far out,
Nice on.
but we can make that. It is surprising just how fun the Mario sports games can be. Mario Kart is sort of the most common ensemble Mario game, really. But all the sports games have actually proven pretty good. I think Mario was actually involved in a golf game for the NES or something like that. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But it is very nice just seeing the whole range of different cast members, and like I said, we do have some very different characters in this game, because perhaps the Mario-verse wasn't necessarily fleshed out as much. We'll probably need about there. You had these random human characters like Plum, Charlie. You'll also meet Maple, Sunny, and Harry. We will get to unlocking them later on. Right, so if it's pushing like that, probably need to hit it about here. That's whipping around very quickly. Could have gone one more, I reckon. Oh well, that's my own fault. Luigi's not going to make it, is he? Luigi has gone into the water. Out of bounds, incurs a 1-stroke penalty.
Too bad.
Luigi nearly hit the cameraman then. So, actually a pretty decent shot, all things considered. Not too bad. But that flub definitely cost him, so we're going to look for an approach. So... could have given it a little bit more oomph. Don't know why they always wind up breaking off to one side. Well, I suppose it's where the green winds up being, but... oh, that's an awful putt, but I did this to myself. You know what? Confident. Oh, come on. Ah. So, nothing is recorded against our scores here. Luigi has managed to drop it in for the bogey.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia indeed, mate. We had a terrible hole there.
Bogey.
So there we are.
Oh.
So, with 16 holes left, one of us still needs to win 9 to have a clear advantage. Hitting into the breeze. Now the bunker's over that way. So perhaps if I hit over here. That's going to be a tough ask. Probably could go a power shot on this one. As I said, definitely a lot of thought that goes into this. And as a result, it can be quite a fun game. It's very simple to play, but once you do start mastering it, there's really a lot to consider. So, we're hitting over a tree that way. So if I line it up about here... we're just slightly off again. I probably didn't need to loft it. Well, we'll see where Luigi goes. That's actually a good shot. Oh, that is a really good shot. I'm in a bit of trouble on this particular hole. So, we're probably looking to put it about here. And if we put it about... I think I'm gonna need a little bit more distance when it comes to those. I've definitely stuffed up this hole. This might be... ah, needed to put it further uphill. This one's gonna be Luigi's. He shouldn't flub this one. Now he's just pissing around. I suppose I deserve that.
Bogey.
Right, now don't stuff this one up, Luigi. You've actually earned this one.
Nice
It would have been insulting if he just stuffed around. So, Luigi has one more medal. Well, he actually has one medal in general, and because he won the last hole, he tees off. We're playing into the driving rain. That wasn't the greatest joke I could have made in all fairness, so might as well give it some welly. There we go! Preserved a power shot! And we have a little bit of momentum on our side. Timing's all coming back. It's easy enough to play and you do skip the lengthy walking, but overall it's a pretty entertaining game and the series has been pretty good. World Tour does have a particularly annoying course that's entirely underwater, which means you have to put up with underwater physics while putting. But there are lots of entertaining courses and they expand on some of the mechanics in Toadstool Tour. I'd probably say in terms of visual style, I like Toadstool Tour the most, because it still does offer a balance between power and actual control, but I do genuinely love the characters in this game. So, like, I think they need little odd touches like that along the way. Because it's nice having all the Mario cast involved in everything, but at the same time, it can get a bit tiresome for some people if you're just seeing the same characters over and over again and things like that. That little bit of extra variety. Just sort of saying, hey, it's not always the same group of people. There are more denizens of the Mushroom Kingdom too, because we've all seen people like Rosalina, like Waluigi, like Birdo, like Pink Gold Peach and stuff like that. Like, okay, going back to the Mario Kart thing, you really could use the likes of Plum and that in games rather than having these random palette swaps involved. That's a money shot. It would flesh things out a little bit rather than having what I feel are those, well, they're kind of lazy in a sense. I mean, I know it doesn't necessarily cost the developers that much to do. And maybe it's not truly lazy. But it just does feel annoying when you could develop a few more characters. You could reuse some of those old ones that haven't shown up in a while. And I know that somebody like Plum ultimately isn't that relevant in the great scheme of things. She's a nice character and I would be interested in learning more about her, but she's just one character who's appeared for a little bit in one game, basically. I do believe that more could be done to develop characters like this, but that's just me. And I know it's fairly contentious to say such a thing in the light of sort of everything that goes on with Super Smash Bros. I'm not touching the fandom for that one with a 10-foot barge pole. Or even a 20-foot barge pole for that matter. Hey, we squeaked onto the green.
Nice on.
Very long putt though. But I suppose it's just that actually being able to reuse those extra characters that you do actually have the rights to allows you to flesh things out a little bit more and to create a more diverse and interesting game world. Ooh, this... oh, man. So it's breaking a little bit to the right to left. Needed to aim a bit more to the right. I mean, to the left, I mean. Yeah, both of us had some pretty tricky putts. I mean, I'd have been impressed if I got that, given how I've played sometimes, so...
Nice par.
There we are! At least protected the lead. Luigi shouldn't flub this.
Nice par.
There we are. So because we've had 3 ties, it's only 8 holes to win. Now I'll have to take a straight shot through here. I can skirt a little closer to the edge. Beautifully timed. No breeze either. But yeah, I just do feel that characters like Plum and Maple, I do enjoy playing Maple because, well, she is a bit more affected by the wind. She has a straight shot, which is really my forte. So Luigi squeaks into the semi-rough, but basically that... yeah, basically the fade he has on his shots is sort of how you want things to work. I need a bit less than full power. Well, that's put me in a good position. So yeah, because Luigi's shots fade, he can hook it around that hill fairly easily. Quite an advantage for him. Somebody who has a draw is going to have a lot of trouble swinging it around. Like I said, actually so much more to this. Oh, no, no. He's getting serious now. That was impressive. I have to give him that. It was impressive. Oh, and it's raining. I'm gonna take a power shot on this one. Well, timing's right at least. But yeah, I do seem to prefer using characters who have straight shots. I suppose there's less sort of mental calculation to do. But, gotta step out of the comfort zone sometime. Luigi's shot is... Well, he's a bit troubled by this one because it bends from right to left. Oh, man. I think I'm going to have to try and set it up. Gonna have to take setup for par on this one, I think. Well, we've squeaked onto the green.
Nice on.
And we are a very long way from the hole.
Nice job.
Done very well for himself.
Nice on.
So, we both have absolute monster putts. I think I'm going to need a long range one. So there's a fair left to right break. Oh, well that wasn't too bad. If I'd added a little bit more oomph, I might have got that in. Oh, Luigi's overcooked that one by a fair way. I undercooked it, he overcooked it. On average, I think we got it in the hole. Oh no! All of a sudden, Luigi has... He just dropped his bundle there.
Nice.
And there we are out of nowhere. I've snatched the hole. Probably could phrase that a little better. Anyway, on to hole 12. This should be over pretty soon in all fairness. And nice timing on that. Might take another power shot to see if we can get to the green. So yeah, Luigi is the first one you unlock and then it goes in order of increasing power. You'll gradually be able to build up to playing the stronger characters and having much better characters in terms of raw power at your disposal. Luigi skirting with the danger of the bunker there. And no, nice. Onto the fairway. What do I have at my disposal? So, courses with a lot more hills will be significantly dangerous for characters like Plum. I'm up a fair bit, so you know what, let's absolutely mongrel that, shall we?
Oh, too bad.
Ugh. Well, that's what I get for my arrogance, I suppose. Trying to be clever. Didn't take the smart route like Luigi.
Nice on.
Suppose it's just sort of been that day. Oh, man. Gonna need full oomph on this one. Well, I dug myself out of a hole. So you're going to have very much reduced power if you are in bunkers like that. Oh, he's got that.
Nice birdie. Yeah. All right.
So I think Monty Mole will pop up if you succeed at longer range putts. So if I get about there. That's probably not enough power. I've undercooked it. Oh well, that's what being cocky does. So it probably is not going to have as much to say, all things considered, because, well, I'm just sort of... Has he gone out of... Oh, he's gone in the deep rough. Luigi is off on the safari. Hang on. So if I hit it, if I aim it about there, but I swing it around... That will happen instead. That was weird. Probably should have just hit it straight because I put too much spin on it. So, it is interesting to note that as you're playing through the different holes, you'll gradually have the progression of the day going past you. Let's see if I get... So, time will actually pass. That's a better shot. And... you'll eventually be playing towards the end of the day. If you have a tiebreaker, you'll actually be playing at night. Don't know what he was doing there. Mind you, I've had a few like that go in, so... probably a bit much. Nope, we actually got away with that one. So yes, you can see the sun is starting to set in the background, and now we have a dormy hole. This means that even if it's a draw, I win. Because if it's a draw, there aren't enough holes left for Luigi to come back and win. So I might as well use one of my power shots. The wind is coming across. Let's give it some oomph. So we are nearly winding down. Rain has randomly come in. And it's the end of a fairly long day, in all fairness. It's been a bit of a weary one for me. We've had a pretty hectic week, in all fairness. Work's been a bit chaotic, then there's a family birthday before Christmas Day, and another one just a bit after. So, probably a bit drained from all the excitement and enthusiasm, and the commentary's going to suffer a little bit. But then again, I don't really feel like I need to worry too much about scintillating commentary if we're just sitting here having fun. I think that's the most important thing to remember. Just chill out, enjoy ourselves, and have a hit of golf. That's what this side project will be all about, really. Really should have put more power on that. Some powerful breeze I didn't quite account for, so we're probably looking for about... Where is that in comparison to the hole? Not bad, not bad. I mean, all we have to do is tie. Luigi's gone for the approach shot. He probably had to make the very risky putt to keep himself alive. So, let's aim this. And away we go.
Nice par.
There we go, Luigi can't beat me. So, there we are. We have earned 42 course points. Higher ranked courses will earn us more course points. So we will only really have a choice of 2 courses for the time being. But for now, we'll wrap things up. We will be able to take on the tournament on Cooper Park in the next episode of this side project. Thank you very much for hitting the links with me. I know it's been a bit rambling, but it's just sort of chilling out, having fun, and watching some frankly terrible golf on my part. I would definitely be a weekend hacker in real life. But as always, thank you very much for joining me. No matter when you're watching this, if it's Christmas, if it's New Year, it's your birthday, it's just a regular day, you're a good person. You can do so much for the world. There's always some way in which you can push on to be better and to change the world because you're continually getting better, you're continually getting more awesome, and you're continually doing so many wonderful things. I know you can keep improving for the better. We can all keep improving and pushing towards those goals. All the best to you, and until next time, this is Red2 returning to base.